to us your poetry, from inspiration sought. Come join us with your images, your verses, words, and thought. From here we'll share your balladry with those who do not know it. This platform's here for you to show the world that you're the poet.
Welcome to episode 52 of You're the Poet, the poetry podcast featuring you. I'm host Matt Burgio, and I'm here with co-host Phil Burgio. Phil, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Here at You're the Poet, our purpose is to share our love of poetry with the world and invite you to do the same. We want to start by saying thank you to all of our listeners who have made You're the Poet possible. We hope you enjoy the podcast and the poetry that is shared here. Our featured guest for this episode of You're the Poet is Tara Hicks, who is joining us from Oregon. Tara, welcome to You're the Poet.
Thank you for the introduction, Matt. I'm very happy to be here.
We're glad you could join us. We look forward to your contribution to the episode. To start things off, I'm going to turn it over to Phil to share a classic poem for the episode.
Okay, this poem is by Rudyard Kipling. And as I was looking up a little biography of Rudyard Kipling, born December 30th, 1865 in Bombay, India, and he passed away in 1936 in London, England. He's best known for Jungle Book, Kim, Captain's Courageous, other poems, lots of poems. But what fascinated me was how much he traveled. He was all over the place. This was before airlines. I mean, he was all over the world, spent a lot of time in the United States. He visited Mark Twain. He just walked up to Mark Twain's door, knocked on the door, and then he's all of a sudden he's thinking like, well, what if he's busy? What if you don't want me here? They spent 2 hours talking literature.
Wow.
Yeah. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1907. Kipling did. I was fascinated, but I got to do some more reading about him. So instead of me going into detail, if you want to hear about Kipling, go check him out. I mean, fascinating man. Anyway, this poem was written when he was living in Vermont. The Way Through the Woods. They shut the road through the woods 70 years ago. Weather and rain have undone it again, and now you would never know that there once was a road through the woods before they planted the trees. It is underneath the coppice and heath and the thin anemones. Only the keeper sees that where the ringdove broods and the badger roll at ease, there once was a road through the woods. Yet, if you enter the woods of a summer evening late, when the night air cools on the trout-ringed pools, where the otter whistles his mate, they fear not men in the woods, because they see so few. You will hear the beat of the horse's feet and the swish of a skirt in the dew, steadily cantering through the misty solitudes, as though they perfectly knew the old lost road through the woods. But there is no road through the woods. Rudyard Kipling.
All right, thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Phil. Well, that was quite a poem, right? It's difficult to recite. I think it's a lot of tricky words in there. I love the visuals. And I wasn't sure where he was or what woods he was writing from, because I know he spent a lot of time in India. I was surprised it was Vermont.
Yeah, he lived there.
And I'm not sure what anemones are in forests.
Flowers.
So I know in the sea,
They're flowers, too.
they're flowers as well.
Yeah.
Wow, it's beautiful.
You're right. I like the imagery.
I really like this poem as well, and I started to do some research on Kipling when you sent this to me, Phil. I don't remember who he was visiting or who he was staying with, but he was visiting either friends or family, and one of the ladies there had asked him if he believed in ghosts and if there were ghosts in the woods. And sometime after that conversation, he let her know that, hey, I wrote this poem about ghosts in the woods, and that he would give it to her, but apparently he never did, and she later found it, and then it was published in a collection of his. I always like poems like this, especially this time of year as we're getting close to Halloween. And I like that mystery of how, there used to be that old path in the woods, but it's gone and only the animals know that it's there. And then, of course, the spirits or the ghosts of the woods that had traveled the road long ago.
Yeah.
It reminded me of near Cedar Creek, the town that was there before they dammed the creek. And you drive down roads and it just disappears into the lake. Kind of the same imagery, through a thick woods and everything. And then next thing you know, you're facing the lake.
It's amazing. There's a lot of those out here in Oregon.
For some reason, it made me think of the legend of Sleepy Hollow and the headless horseman riding through this path that used to be through the woods.
Well, that's spooky, yeah.
All right, from here, I'm going to share a poem for the episode. I decided to choose one of my fall poems since this is the time of year all the leaves here in Ohio are changing and falling, and you're getting a lot of yellows and oranges and reds, and I just love that here, and I'm glad that we live somewhere that has the seasons like that. This poem is called Leaves of Color. My yard's a globe of falling leaves, dancing in the autumn breeze. orange and red and yellow and brown, floating, swirling, rustling around. The trees they shake to shed their flare and scatter colors everywhere. The wind it lends a helping hand to spread the leaves across the land. Autumn artists busy painting, willows wisp and sigh like fainting. It's now the season of delight when leaves of color take to flight. Matthew Burgio.
I love your play on words and use of color here.
Thank you.
I can see the colors popping in my mind and I can even smell it.
Yeah. Autumn has a distinct smell.
Mm.
I noticed that a lot of our poems are about trees and leaves and forests. And I guess that's good imagery. I like that myself.
I've always found nature to be a great muse and a great inspiration for poetry.
It is. It definitely is. And the seasons help. They definitely help us expand upon ideas. You know, they provide a lot more ideas and food for thought.
I think they do. And, I've noticed that with this podcast, we do this podcast with guests from all over the world. And it really made us stop and think. And it was kind of neat to do an episode around Christmas with a gentleman from Australia. Because, here in the United States, or especially here in the Midwest, when we think of Christmas, it's the snow and the winter wonderland and all that fun stuff. And down there in Australia, he talks about, shrimp on the Barbie and, they're having the beach parties and that, they obviously are not having snow, at least the part of the country he lives in.
Santa wears board shorts.
Right. So, I think some of the times you take some of that stuff for granted. And I even had to think about that. I shared last episode another fall poem about trees. So if you like this one, you might like The Trees Are Dancing that I read in episode 51. But, not everybody lives in a part of the world where their deciduous trees are changing colors in the fall and things like that.
Yeah.
I think we're definitely blessed here to experience that. It makes me love the fall.
That is always my favorite season. Even in South Africa, it was my favorite season. It's the best time to go wine tasting or cheese tasting and drives through the mountains on the coast.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, from here, I'm going to turn it back over to Phil to share his poem.
Okay. I wrote this poem as part of a trilogy. My wife passed away a few years back, and I wrote some poems about grief. I wrote 2 poems about grief, and this is the 3rd poem in the trilogy. I was going to read Smile. Do you ever hear Smile, the Charlie Chaplin song?
Mm.
Come to find out, he just wrote the music and 2 guys wrote the lyrics like 20 years later. But anyway, it's not public domain, so I wasn't going to read it. But that song really helped me with my grief. So this is Grief Be Gone. I almost did it to myself again. I almost let the grief back in. Listening to music that makes me sad, I fought it with all I had. Fighting to make the sadness go, battling to exchange a high from low. She would want my memories to make me beam and bury the grief that clouds my dream. Grief and sadness are not the same. I've conquered grief, but some blues remain. Philip Burgio.
All right. Thank you for sharing.
Wow, Phil. I was floored when I first saw this, and listening to you read it right now, there's so much emotion there, and it's sweet and short. And I think a lot of us have lost someone. Luckily, I haven't lost my soulmate yet, but man, I can't imagine. And then you get these moments of quiet and you get sucked back in. And I think you've captured that perfectly. It's just, don't drown, don't drown, don't drown.
Yeah. If you get a chance to go back and read the first 2, my grief. I don't remember what episodes they are.
Yeah, you can check out the episode list on the website, but it's the poems Soul Cleansing. Then I believe the other one's Another Cleansing.
Yeah, Soul Cleansing and Another Cleansing.
Yeah.
So.
But, sometimes I feel like we need those things, at least when we're going through the grieving process, to have those memories, and you get those things of songs or images that'll, invoke the sadness and the grief.
Mm.
But I think it helps you remember. I mean, like you said, I like that line about grief and sadness are not the same. You're conquering the grief, but, you're going to have those memories.
They have a little bit of blues still in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's natural and it's healthy.
Yeah.
I would listen to the songs and I'd get really sad because they were like our songs. Now I listen to them and I smile thinking of her.
That's great.
Beautiful.
All right. From here, we're going to turn to our guest portion of the episode. Tara, you're the poet. Show us what you've got.
I love it when you say that. Thank you. So I've got a couple of imaginative pieces to read today. And the first one is called Take My Hand. Let's go on a journey off through outer space. Let's visit distant galaxies and leave this awful place. I know, I'm claustrophobic. That will not matter now. We'll leave all that behind us. I will show you how. You're on the bridge of Tarakas, Captain Xantos by your side. We're coming out of warp drive. Her eyes, they gleam with pride. We found an exoplanet with plenty to explore. This galaxy is full of these. We've not been here before. We leave on the Explorer Force, zooming to the surface. Scanners at the ready. Our mission has a purpose. We need to find fresh food to resupply our stores. This journey is much longer than we thought to bargain for. This biome is so luscious, full of flowers, bugs, and trees. The colors are so vibrant. There are reds and blues and greens. Our leader puts his fist up, motioning to stop. A mighty sound approaches and he orders us to drop. A swarm of fuzzy insects zooms above our heads, dripping sticky nectar, our hearts now filled with dread. The scurrying is deafening. We scramble to our knees. It seems we are not welcome in this place among the trees. Explorer Force is not too far. We turn our tails and dash. To protect the natural order here, we must avoid a clash. Back on board Tarakas, we look about and laugh. Still covered in the nectar, we need a sonic bath. This is the kind of journey that I wanted for today. I'm so pleased you came along with me. So pleased you chose to stay. By Tara Hicks.
All right. Thank you for sharing.
Live long and prosper. That was so Star Trek-y to me.
I felt Janeway.
Yeah, I'm a Trekker. I'm sorry. It's the beginning.
That is such a great poem, and I think it's reminiscent of a lot of your poetry that I've seen on Facebook and online. I just love how fun your poetry is. And I love this journey that you took, the sci-fi element of it. It's just wonderful. It just makes you smile and it just makes you happy. I think it's sort of a neat concept.
Tarakas, name of your ship, I take it.
Yeah, that's the name of my ship.
And where'd you come up with that?
Well, my name is Tara, and Tarakas, I just...
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
My daughter-in-law is a big Star Trek fan, and she has a ship, and she has people. It's like a social group.
Like in real life?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
They meet every so often and do nerd stuff.
Yeah. I really wanted to go to Comic-Con last year dressed as a... What you call it again? In Deep Space Nine, the fight with the Cardassians, they have the ridged nose.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Keep slipping my mind. Yeah, but I wanted to go dressed like that. And then we bought tickets, and then the day came, and we completely forgot it was Comic-Con.
They come through the wormhole.
Yes.
This drives me crazy. I should know this. I mean, I should know this.
Well, it'll come to us.
We'll update the audience on the next episode.
If I blurt it out, you know.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the feedback.
You're welcome.
Okay, give us another one.
This is another story poem. Because I'm really into adventure and escaping, I don't know, the pressures of the outside world these days. So this one is called My Brush with Fortune. There it was, all bright and shiny, lying on the ground, a brilliant diamond, once so lost, now happy to be found. I picked it up, held it tight, and turned to look around. A dragon won't abide this loss. I listened for its sound. I needed now a place to hide to keep my treasure bound. So off I set, all filled with purpose. That dragon I'd confound. Alas, my dears, my plans were thwarted when I hit the ground. His massive wings had knocked me over. My heart began to pound. I thought then for sure I was a goner, but my did he astound. You found my jewel, I must thank you, and so you shall be crowned. My mouth aghast, I clutched the diamond, melting in his grasp. His outstretched claws upheld the crown, he uttered with a rasp. I'll trade you this for that there jewel, please. Do not be afraid. I weighed my options, they weren't good. The dragon I then paid. He set the crown upon my head, then set me in a glade. I took the crown from off my head to see how it was made. To my surprise, it sparkled bright, with diamonds all inlaid. Yet to this day, I wonder why that jewel he so desired, perhaps because it was just how a dragon was hardwired. By Tara Hicks.
Fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, I love it as well. And two things. I love that you talked before the poem about the escape from the everyday life. And I think your poems do bring that. I actually meant to comment on that on the last one about, the space exploration and going off to distant lands. And then this one here with the dragon, sort of going back to that folklore. And I'm a huge Tolkien fan.
Yeah, I was just going to say Tolkien came to mind on that.
Tolkien, if you're saying it right.
Tolkien, yeah.
Smaug.
Right.
Smaug.
Definitely was thinking of Smaug, and also the Arkenstone.
Yes.
This precious jewel.
I didn't think of the Arkenstone, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Arkenstone didn't technically belong to the dragon, but it just had that whole concept that was sort of the prized thing that they were looking for there in Smaug's.
So you probably could tell by now that we're kind of nerds.
Oh, well, we fit right in with each other then.
Yeah, that's right. I like when you're reading it, how you changed to the dragon voice. That was good. If you were up on stage doing that would really be a good presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was my other comment was I love your delivery in both of those.
Thank you.
All right, and before we move on to the third poem, tell us a little bit about your poetic journey.
Okay, well, I wasn't born in the United States. I was born and raised in South Africa. And from a very early age, my parents inspired me with a love of literature in all forms. My mom read me A.A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh books from when I was very young. And I absolutely loved the way that Winnie the Pooh spouted out poems. It just made me laugh so much. And it still does. I mean, I still recite Pooh sticks to this day, And my dad helped me fall in love with Tolkien's The Hobbit.
Oh, there you go.
And he would read that to me over and over again from the age of 6. So just those adventures that I could escape to were wonderful. And I just fell in love with the simplicity and the intrigue in those books. And then in grade 4, I had a teacher called Mrs. Denniston, and she had me participate in something called Eisteddfods. There's sort of poetry reading competitions. And the first poem she had me recite was The Cavity by T.S. Eliot. It's about the cat, this rascal cat, and it's super long. And I had the devil of a time memorizing it to recite it, but it was so fun. And then I got to choose my next poem, and it was Robert Frost's Fire and Ice, still my favorite poem.
I tell you what, so you said 4th grade you were doing T.S. Eliot from memory.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, when you're a 4th grader, McCavity the cat, like that is right up your alley.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was really good. But you get the drift. That's kind of why I like more whimsical poems, something I would have enjoyed as a child. And having lived around the world and traveled quite a bit and being a mom, what I draw on are those experiences and memories. I'm not traveling as much now, so I get to travel in my mind. I didn't really start writing poetry until this year when I was going through some things, and it became a way to process. And as I've already said, a way to escape. And it was, the first poem I read, Take My Hand, made me think I would like to do a collection of poems for children on escapism. I'm thinking of calling it Imaginarium. And my mom's agreed to illustrate it.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I think you do have the right mindset for that, if that's the right word. I could see you writing children's poems and them loving it. I mean, just hearing these last two, I think kids would really attach to that concept.
Thank you.
And I can see the joy that you have when you're just talking about them or reading them.
And you just start writing poetry this year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And now I can't stop, Phil.
You shouldn't. I've been writing poetry since the 60s, late 60s.
Oh, wow. You must have volumes and volumes of pages.
Well, not really. I mean, I was writing and then I start doing other things like raising kids.
Mm.
Then we started up again with this podcast. So some of the poems that we've read in my podcast were the old ones. Some of them are the new ones. And like the one I read today, I wrote yesterday. And Matt writes, he wrote a lot in school. Robert Frost is one of our inspirations. I love Frost.
Yeah, hearing you talk about Fire and Ice, one of the first poems I ever memorized and got up in front of a class to read was his Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. And talk a little bit about that in the first episode of You're the Poet.
He was a very talented poet. It definitely has a warm, fuzzy place in my husband's heart as well. You know, he studied English literature and grew up in New Hampshire.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I was just there. Yeah, one thing about Frost, on one of our poems, we read a classic poem. I found a recording of Frost doing his own poem. So that was our classic poem, having Frost recited himself. That was sweet. YouTube, you go on YouTube, they have poets reciting their stuff. And I found Frost.
I'm going to be doing that this evening.
There you go. I was in New Hampshire in July. Me and a friend did a road trip. We just like, let's go to Maine. Okay. And we just drove.
That's a humid time of year to be there, I think.
Yeah, it was hot. But it was like a guy trip because most of my photographs are different breweries.
I think you mentioned that on one of the earlier episodes. That sounds like a blast.
I was in a brewery yesterday and they got one of my haikus posted on their wall. So I felt good about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask too, do you have any projects or books out there? I know you just said you started writing this year. Didn't know if you've got anything going on that you would like to share, whether it's a Facebook group or Instagram or anything like that, social media outlets.
Yeah. I just have a Facebook group really at the moment, a poet page. It's just poet Tara Hicks. I put my poems out there. I'm experimenting. I think I write more about what I want to write about, what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking about, versus catering to what I think people want to hear.
That's how it should be.
I also think people could always use a little more levity in their lives.
Indeed.
So I'm prescribing medicine without asking. But you can choose to read and follow if you like. Like I said, I do want to write this collection of poems. I'm busy collecting a bunch of poems for that now, and I guess I've never done this before, so I'll figure out how it all goes together. And I'm sharing those with my mother all the way in South Africa, and then she's busy drawing up the illustrations.
I think that's amazing that she's illustrating them for you. That's awesome.
She's talented. She's so talented.
Phil and I are working on putting a collection of poems together based on this podcast. Like, I think it's going to be the poems from the first 50 episodes that we shared. So I'm in the adventures of going through self-publishing and figuring all the ins and outs of that. So I feel you there.
Yeah.
Actually, Matt's putting together, and I'm just kind of like, okay, that sounds good.
He's doing all the legwork.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely.
No, that sounds really good. I can't remember if I heard you mention that before. I'm not quite there yet on the how to physically go about the logistics of it, but I can only imagine it's quite a lot. And I am very excited to buy your book when it comes out.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully it'll be out before the end of the year.
Wow, you're close then.
Well, the poems are written. It's just a matter of editing and getting the manuscript formatted right and all that. But yeah, we'll definitely share a link to your Facebook page so people can check that out.
It's Tara Hicks Poet or Poetry?
Yeah, poet, Tara Hicks. Yeah.
All right, we'll share that. Then, if this book comes to fruition, as you and your mom put that together, let us know. We'll help you promote it, have you back on to read some more poems for it.
Thank you.
It's one of the things we like to do is promote our guests, and feel free to join our groups on Facebook, and we'll keep you up to date on all the things that we're doing, and anything we see that you're doing, we'll share and help you spread the joy of poetry out there.
Thank you. I've actually joined your group a week or so ago, I think, and I've really been enjoying your Facebook page. It's a nice community on there, and it looks like it's growing pretty quickly now.
It is.
It is, and I have a hard time keeping up with it. I'm really bad about, I think even on yours, it probably took me a few days or so to approve things. Because on the weekends, I don't get much email or online time, so sometimes I'm delayed and try to keep up. And then I try to get on there when I get some free time to comment and encourage people.
Yeah,
so
your job gets in the way. Work gets in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have day jobs, right?
Not
right.
me.
Well, except for Phil over here.
You're retired.
My job is I'm a cook and a poet.
I love it.
Yeah, but it's all coming together. I love to see the community grow, even if I'm not commenting all the time. We like to provide a safe space for poets to share, and we're trying to build a community here. So,
Thank you for that.
One more comment, Tara. My other poem was kind of not depressing, but serious. I've written some whimsical poems out there, so check us out.
I will.
I'm not all serious. Matter of fact, I'm not really serious half the time.
I have some serious poems as well. I just prefer the fun ones.
Okay, got another one for us.
I do. This one's a little different. This one's more rhyming, I guess, and it's a lot shorter. I am thinking of making a 6-part epic with this. I've written it out. I'm just not sure I'm happy with it. So this is actually, I think, part 4 of that, even though it was the first poem. It's called Vying for Venus. Venus is alone again, up there in my sky. I wake to see her shining down as dawn breaks in her eye. It seems to me she's rising fast, trying to get away from the warm red glow of the waking sun. Does he have a chance today? But Venus vanishes vehemently as the sky is all aglow. She's more in love with the moon, you see. It's just the way she floats. By Tara Hicks.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I like short rhyming poems because I do that a lot myself.
I always love the inspiration of the stars as well. I've got a couple poems that draw their inspiration from the skies.
So you were talking about doing like a series. You can do all the planets. Is that what you have in mind?
No, so I have one that I put online about the sun's plight. I have Earth's dilemma and Luna's lust. So the idea is that Venus is in love with the moon, but the sun is lusting after Venus. Now, the Earth is lusting after the moon, but the moon's in love with Venus. So there's this not quite a love triangle, and they keep orbiting. So all these planets are orbiting the sun, who's at the center of everything, and he's just like, ah! And the moon's orbiting the Earth, and yeah.
Astronomical Shakespeare play.
Yes, yes. Well, the thing is, for the last month, I wake up in the morning and I look out my window and I've got Mount Hood and Mount St. Helens out there. I can see, but I've been seeing Venus. And sometimes Venus is below the waning crescent moon, and sometimes in the middle of the waning crescent moon. And sometimes it's just Venus in the sky. As the sun rises, Venus gets higher and further, and then she just disappears.
Oh, good imagery. I like that. Yeah.
I think that's a great concept. I love that.
Thank you. And it all started, when was it? The planetary alignments. I got to see that. I had to drive up to Seattle to work early one morning, like 3 a.m. And they were just all there, all the planets. It was amazing.
That's awesome. My wife and I got together with some of her family members and we went to a local park and we couldn't see them all. Some of them were still like below the horizon here, blocked by trees, but we could see quite a few of them and it was neat. We took our nephew as part of that so he could see them and, kind of experience something besides video games and TV.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was a neat experience. Just go out there and look at the stars because I love doing that. And it was cool to share that with my wife and some of her family members.
That's lovely. Did you have to drive a far way away from the city lights?
I should have. We just kind of went to a local park. So there was some of the light pollution and stuff. The main reason we couldn't see some was just because they were too low in the sky still, like before they set, I guess.
My niece and nephew came down a few months back. They looking at the stars, because they live in Cleveland and all the light pollution. And I told them when we first moved down here 50 years ago, there was no light pollution. And the Milky Way was really predominant in the sky. But now all the developments and stuff, and we're getting the light pollution going. I still can see the stars, but it's not like it used to be.
No. There's something about seeing that Milky Way without the light pollution. I miss that. I really do.
Yeah, saw that in New Mexico real strong.
The best stars I ever saw was in Hawaii one time at night on the northern part of the Big Island. Well, there's probably like no light pollution because it's more the poor rural part of the island. But I mean, it was weird. It was like you could see the Big Dipper, but the Big Dipper was full of stars. It wasn't just there's the Big Dipper. It was you could see the Big Dipper, but then it was like filled with other stars.
Oh, wow.
Like the stars were just so crazy. We were just, my friend and I that I visited, we were just out by the water at this park, nothing else around at night, just talking and looking at the stars. It was just blew me away. But I love looking at the stars. Any chance I can get to do that, I do that. But I love this poem, and I commented on it on Facebook. I think I saw this one online on your page. Just a great little poem, short, but I love the whole concept of the play there, of the sun chasing Venus, and Venus being more in love with the moon.
I truly enjoyed all of your poems.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying yours as well, and I appreciate the feedback you've provided and the welcoming community space you've created.
Well, you're welcome. Well, before we move on, is there anything else you'd like to say about poetry or anything else?
I do hope that anyone listening and taking joy from these podcasts on You're the Poet is able to share them with friends. I don't think you can realize how many people are touched by poetry. We may not all be looking for poetry, but sometimes it's presented to us and it's just the right thing at the right time. And it can make you feel fun. It can make you feel validated or seen. It can also make you feel that grief that you've been trying to put off. And I think that's just such a beautiful thing. We don't necessarily need technology or to watch TV. We can pick up a book or an anthology and read, and we can write.
Definitely. All right, well, as we move on, we got just a little bit of feedback for this episode. This is all feedback for episode 50, which was our Tonka special. To start off, got some from YouTube. This is Loris Loren wrote, really appreciate the opportunity to be a part of another episode. Absolutely well done to my fellow poets who shared some brilliant Tonka. Some haunting, some thought-provoking, and all very great pieces. And then Claudia Najim commented, great podcast. And then 79 Hansa, who's Jay Michelson, wrote, thank you very much, dear poets. We have reached the big episode 50. Congratulations, everyone. And then this wasn't from YouTube, but Mariah S. wrote, I love the Tonka show. I also love how everyone pronounced it so differently. I enjoyed that a lot. Congratulations on your 50th episode. That is worth celebrating. Cheers to you and Phil. So thank you guys for the feedback, and thank you for listening to the podcast. And as we wrap things up, we want to let our listeners know that we're grateful that you've taken the time to tune in. We hope you're enjoying the poetry shared here, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with others. If you would like to support You're the Poet and what we're doing here, there are a couple of ways to help. You can find links on our website to our Buy Me a Coffee patron site, as well as our You're the Poet store, where you can buy You're the Poet merchandise and share your love of poetry with the world. Thank you for your support as we continue to grow. And I want to take a moment at this point, too, to thank a couple people that have supported us online. Loris Loren and Tony C. have both bought merchandise from the store or supported us at Buy Me a Coffee, so we want to thank you guys for that. And if you've written any poetry and you want to share it here, whether you just have an interest in poetry, consider yourself an amateur poet, or are a professional poet with published works, contact us to be a guest on a future episode. Please check out our website and various social media outlets to keep up to date with You're the Poet. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and our website, you'rethepoet.com. Until next time, Phil, thanks for joining us.
Anytime. Tara, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you both too. Thank you.
Tara, thank you for being our guest.
My pleasure.
Thank you to you both. Goodbye.